Today's been an interesting day. That's all I'm going to say. Well, gentlemen, we're here. We got to test some stuff here real quick. I've had a couple different comments from my wire gauge test that I did. One gentleman is just emphatic that the test that I did is invalid because my little general reference amp shunt, which the shunt hangs here on the wall, by the way, is inaccurate according to him. There's no way. There's no possible way. There's just no way. And he told me to take my little clamp over amp ring. And you guys understand, as he put it, my little clamp over amp ring, and get out my fluke and redo this test on the other side of the street, because he feels that this thing is just horribly inaccurate. This meter here. And my point that I want to make is that if this is within 5%, even 10%, I'm comfortable with using that because it doesn't need to be that accurate for what I'm trying to do. The math that I'm trying to achieve in my head is not finite, right? I'm not trying to get bench grade test equipment that's going to tell me the difference of 1/16 of an amp. I have test equipment for that. I don't have it for in bulk, like 300 plus amps, but that's what I've got this for. And this is also just a general form of measurement. So to go and get hyper stupid critical about it is counterproductive for me and everybody else. But I thought, you know, since I built the meter 7-8 years ago, I have not really showing that this is accurate or not on video since I did the video that I originally did when I made the meter. So let's see if we can get this all framed up for you guys. Come on, play along, lights, play along, meter. Be on the phone. I could be working on stuff right now, but one guy out there is crying foul. So one dude. Okay, there we go. Well, let's see what we got. Remember, this amp gauge over here I don't trust for nothing because the load shunt, I've melted it about 10 million times. This one I use is very basic, general measurement. Like if I have a piece of equipment oscillating and I can't, there's no way to see that. If it's oscillating and creating power, I have no way to see it other than to look at this meter. And if this doesn't rest at 0 and the amplifier's pulling, let's say like 20 or 30 amps, I know I have a problem, I need to disconnect it. That's what I use this for. And to give people on video a quick reference of how much current their piece of equipment is pulling. So we'll zero this out. And let's just start out with a small load, because we're going to get more of an accurate reading with a small load than we are with a large load, because the pile, the carbon pile, as it heats up, its resistance changes. So we'll say, okay, this is saying 9 amps, and that's showing me 9.5, 9.7, 9.8. So 9 amps, 10 amps. It's turned up a little bit. 65, 66, 67. It's within an amp or so, which is enough general reference for me. And I made that very clear in the video that this guy is complaining about. Let's let the carbon pile cool off for a second. I made that really clear. I thought I made it really clear when I said, hey, this meter shunt here isn't the most accurate thing in the world. That's the reason we're using this. But when you can take and put a length of wire between A and B, and you're measuring on this end and this end, and you're seeing on this end, let's say, you know, from A to B, and on this end I'm seeing 200 amps, and on this end I'm seeing 5, and the only thing that's in between is the size of the wire, and there's so much resistance because the wire gauge is too small, right? Okay, so once again, this thing counts slow, this thing counts fast. This shows to the amp, and this shows to the 1/10 of amp, right? So let's go on up. Let's put a little bit of a load on it, and we'll say around 300 amps. So it's off by a couple amps on the upper end, as in like 10, not hundreds, as he's trying to infer and imply. I don't know, I'll take that as a fairly decent measurement. It's only off by 9 amps. Well, 8.5 amps with a 300 amp load. I can mentally live with that. I don't know about you. Just saying. But according to him, this shunt's completely out of whack. It's way off, like hundreds and hundreds of amps off. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. It's within an amp or so. I mean, it's the best that Chinesium can buy. And I built this, what was it? 8, 9 years ago now? So, okay. Just felt like I needed to do that test because it's like people are calling foul, and I'm going, wait a minute. We're going to put 100 amps on it. And it's climbing over here. Let's dial you down. About 100 amps. 106, 118, 120, 122. Man, they're tracking like almost right on with each other. Here, let's back this down again. 100, 102. I don't know. I don't see such a huge disparity in measurement that I'm going to worry anymore about this. Okay, gentlemen, I'll see ya. Appreciate you. And by the way, this is the cheapest load cell that money can buy. There's way better ones out there. This is like the second cheapest volt amp meter that money can buy. There's way more accurate ones out there. This is a fairly decent clamp over amp ring. There's way more accurate ones out there than this. But for what I do here and what I measure here, this is sufficient, in my opinion. So on that note, I'll see ya. Have a great day. Click, click.